Hello everybody, welcome to Geoarchaeology Online. Welcome to our incredible class. Welcome Charles, Kim, Megan, Shelby, Franklin, Kadia, Maria, Robin, Hannah, Michael, Dominic, Morgan, Kaya, Susan, Logan, Jennifer, Devin, and go Beavers. Go Oregon State Beavers, man. Go Beavs. Build the dam, go Beavs. And I hope you're all healthy and safe and doing well during these very difficult times. I'm recording this on March 27th, Friday. Classes start next week. My name is Neil Endicott, and I'm a adjunct non-tenure track instructor here in the anthropology department at Oregon State. I got my PhD in anthropology at Washington State in 2008. And I'm really a zooarchaeologist by training, analysis of animal bones and archaeological sites. But I have a holistic perspective on anthropology, and I've got a lot of archaeological background and experience, and it's a pleasure to work with a lot of you, all you folks, and I've worked with a lot of you before, so that's really neat. We're going to have a good class. I know these are very difficult times. Field work. I've done field work in the Upper Midwest, Pacific Northwest, Alaska, Japan, Belize, Tanzania, and last summer did a lot of archaeological survey in the Bob Marshall Wilderness of Montana. Okay, please call me by my first name if you're comfortable with that, Neil. But if you'd rather not, Mr. Endicott or Professor Endicott's fine, or Dr. Endicott, whatever. But I prefer first name basis. So I want to go over the syllabus a little bit more and talk about what we're going to be doing. And of course, obviously very difficult times for everybody, but I want this class to be something positive in our lives in what is a very difficult time for everybody. It seems to be getting more and more scary and difficult by the day. But we have our class, and we have a lot of interesting material to go through, and I feel very fortunate to be working with you. And I want to try to give people a little bit of extra flexibility in this class than maybe they would expect normally. Try to be accommodating. I know that a lot of you have all kinds of stresses and strains on you beyond what maybe you normally have. Kids home from school and taking care of them and various things. Some people may be suffering some real financial hardship, and not to mention that you may know people that have gotten sick, or there's always a health risk for all of us over the course of this quarter. So I'm trying to be flexible and accommodating, and we're not going to have a term paper this quarter. That was one thing I thought might be problematic if we had a term paper, so we won't have a term paper. But we have plenty of other stuff to do. This can be a great learning experience. And so here's our Canvas site. So I have this stuff. These first three modules are posted. The other stuff that you're seeing here is an instructor view, and the stuff's not up yet for you, but it will be soon. And so I just have some editing and things to do down here and some exercises still to fill out. But we'll go through this, and let's take a look at the syllabus. No, that's not it. The syllabus is, where did I put the syllabus? Here it is. I still might make a few modifications to it before the first day of class, but no radical changes. And okay, so everybody's using Zoom these days. I'll try to have some office hours. I would plan on having office hours in Zoom Monday through Thursday, every day from 1 to 2:30 p.m. So that's what I'm going to do starting next week. And so basically, these are one-on-one meetings in Zoom, and I'm teaching 3 other classes, so there may be other students too. But I want to have these to be one-on-one meetings available, like in office hours would be in person. And so If you want to meet with me, I'll send out an email to everybody and our message to everybody with a link that you could click on to join the Zoom meeting. If you want to meet with me, I'll only meet with one student at a time. But if you click on that link and I'm meeting with somebody else, you'll be put in what's called a waiting room. Okay, and you can be working on reading or whatever you want to do like you normally would in a waiting room. And I'll see that there's somebody waiting, and so I'll try to speed up my meeting with the other students so that you can come in. But this should work just fine. I mean, there's plenty of chances to meet, and if these times won't work for you, we can schedule another time. Here's my email account, but I respond much more quickly to messages in Canvas, so please send me messages in Canvas. Also, weekly online optional extra credit study sessions, Thursday from 7 to 8 Pacific time. You can earn 3 extra credit points if you come and participate, and those can be very helpful. So I'll send out an invite for those. You can join, and we can bring up PowerPoint slides. I can bring up the whiteboard. I can share my desktop with you, and we can be very productive in how we use that time. Okay. And I know a lot of you have a good deal of archaeological background. Some people maybe a little bit less, but now think about it. In archaeology, most of the data that we're discussing in archaeology, that we look at in archaeology, starts out as a geoarchaeological problem. It's pulled out of the ground. So we want to think about archaeology really at a very basic, down in the dirt level, site formation processes. How do archaeological sites form? What are the depositional processes that go into the formation of an archaeological site? How are things altered, both cultural transformations by humans and other transformation processes, altering the archaeological record? The spatial relationship and preservation of cultural material, and spatial relationship of artifacts to each other, but also to their stratigraphic context, dating and stratigraphy concepts in general, and then trying to put it into a larger context, past landscape settings. What was the landscape like when the site was formed, and are there other sites around our landscape remainders that help us understand the larger cultural context of the archaeological site we're looking at? So we want to develop these skills to aid our archaeological fieldwork and research abilities. Obviously, we can't get out in the field and do a lot of this stuff this quarter, but we can do a lot of reading, we can do a lot of talking, and we've got some great videos in this class that have been put together by the former instructor in the class, Dr. Lauren Davis. And Lauren, a professor here at OSU, I'm going to see if he'd be willing to join us in some of our Zoom meetings. So he's a real expert, world-renowned geoarchaeologist. Hopefully he'll be joining us, and you'll be seeing a lot of him on the videos. And I don't have nearly the expertise that Dr. Davis does, but I've done quite a bit of archaeological field work and have some good understanding of geoarchaeological concepts and processes. But certainly his expertise and experience will be invaluable in our class. Okay, here's our book. Get it? Please start reading it. There'll be a few other readings in Canvas. They'll be for you. But this is going to be our main source of information. It's outdated, obviously, but in terms of general principles and concepts, it's very good. I mean, you'll be able to understand academic articles, geoarchaeology articles much better by going through this book from cover to cover. All right, so how are we going to be evaluated? We've got, each week we have a discussion and collaborative exercise with 50 points where you make several posts, and I'll talk about that more later. Each week we have a quiz. The lowest one is drops, or if you have a bad week or whatever, I'll drop your lowest score. Same with your discussion and collaborative exercise. Midterm exam, final exam, I'll have some study guides at least a week before the exams. So no term paper. I decided not to have a term paper in here this quarter simply because I'm concerned about, obviously libraries are working at minimum employee capacity. They're stretched. They seem to still be functioning pretty well. We can get academic articles through interlibrary loan and such. But I think I just want to kind of take out that whole stress and issue of a research paper. It'd be nice to do it. We have a lot of advanced students. But let's concern ourselves with really learning our book. Okay. Well, okay. settle down with this book, get to know it from cover to cover. It's a great book. You can learn a heck of a lot from this book. The discussions and collaborative exercises, put some time and thought into those, some writing. I don't want little short posts. I want, several hundred word posts. And I'm going to try to make those interesting and challenging. And we'll talk about the first one here in a bit. So one thing that I'm noticing that we're not doing a lot of this course is writing. We're not doing much writing. So in terms of a term paper and such. So let's put some writing into our discussion, collaborative exercises, put some thought into our posts, some length into our posts, and edit them for grammar and such. Think about those as weekly term papers that we're turning in almost. There'll be some essay questions on the quizzes. I'll talk more about that in the exams. And we want to write our essays and our short essays well on the quizzes and the exams. Demonstrate some writing skills there in a way that we won't be able to in a term paper. Here, grade boundaries. The only extra credit is participation in the online study sessions. Although I may consider giving some extra credit too if you stop by during the Zoom office hours. The main thing about the study sessions and the Zoom office hours is, I want you to demonstrate to me that you've read the material, you've thought about it, you've put some work in, and then you can earn some extra credit. Okay, so here's the schedule. Course intro and what is geoarchaeology? What is geoarchaeology and overview of the course. Chapter 1 of waters. 1 video link. We've got a video link in there, and some weeks have 20 video links, so we've got tons of information in the video links. Week 1, discussion and collaborative exercise. I'll talk about that in a minute. That's a typo. Doggone it. That's a typo. It should say week 1 quiz. All right. And so each week a discussion and collaborative exercise and a quiz. Assignments will always be due 11:59 p.m. Sunday. All the assignments will be due at the same time. Then we'll have a midterm exam, week 5. You can see the topics here. They're pretty much going more or less the same order as in the book. Some of these, I still have some readings to be determined and to add onto here, so the syllabus will need to be updated a little bit. But we've got enough to keep us going here for the first couple of weeks with our assigned readings and videos. We've got a lot of information to go through the first couple of weeks, and we'll have quizzes on week 1 and week 2. All right, and you can look through this more closely. Discussion boards, collaborative exercises, and the first week we'll do this together as one big class. I might break us up into smaller groups after the first week, but the first week we'll do it as one big class, in part because you're going to be asked to introduce yourself. Exams, quizzes, please let's not have an incomplete. They're a huge hassle. Another reason I'm not having a term paper is because they can be something that's, if somebody gets sick or they have a crisis in their life, then a term paper may be what doesn't get done. But exams and quizzes, we can find ways to make those up if people have issues that prevent them from turning it in on the scheduled time. We're going to be doing a lot of online communication this quarter, and obviously we want to be polite to each other, not get impatient. This should be looked at as something to help each other in turbulent times, and I want people to enjoy it and not feel a bunch of stress from it. It gives us something to do in these difficult times. And I haven't had too many problems with that in these discussion forums and classes. People have been extremely good, and I have people putting in incredible amounts of information. Some people do incredibly great work on these discussion posts, and let's keep that up. Okay. So you can look through this. I just noticed one typo up here that I'll have to try to remember to fix later. So, all right. Let's look at more closely. So there's some more information about me, and what I was just looking at right there is in there. Some general information. This is a discussion board for students to communicate with each other and ask each other questions. I will look at it a little bit, maybe try to answer some questions. But this is really kind of a study hall for students to work with each other. And if you come across some neat geoarchaeology research articles and learning resources, please post a link to them here so we'll have access to that. We'll be coming across a lot of neat information over the quarter. All right. Week 1. Let's read Waters, Chapter 1, this article by Lauren Davis. A lot of his videos will be from the Cooper's Ferry site down in Idaho. So I think it's important to read this article that was published in Science Magazine just about 6 months ago or 8 months ago. And then watch the video. And then we also, in addition to that, we have this, our first discussion and collaborative exercise. 3 posts. This is worth 50 points. And all of them are going to be worth 50 points. Actually, I didn't. All right. Yeah, this last post is also worth 15 points. I didn't get that up there, but the whole thing is going to be worth 50 points. And basically, first post due by Wednesday night. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Answer these questions about yourself. How you doing in these difficult times? Where are you at? Then I want you to go through and read this. Okay, read this and answer the questions. Read this and answer the questions. And here's the questions again to be answered. They're also at the bottom of this PDF file, but they're right here also. Okay, modify this document as you like, or you can answer the questions in a different document. But post your answers. Post your work, your individual work by Friday, 11:59 p.m. I don't want you to look at any other posts until you've posted your work. So I encourage you to get yours up even sooner than this. And then look at other people's work, comment on 2 other students' work. We're trying to help people learn the material because there'll be some questions related to it on the quiz. Okay, so I do notice another typo here. These are all going to be worth 50 points, these discussions and collaborative labs. And I think I have another typo back here that I just noticed. Now, okay, so these are all going to be 50 points each, these discussions and collaborative labs. I mean, this is a big part of our class each week. We want to get them up sooner rather than later. Put some thought and time into them. Then our quizzes, midterm exam, finals. So we've got plenty to keep us busy. Okay. But a very similar schedule each week. We have a discussion and collaborative lab and a quiz each week. Study session on Thursday night. You can join me. You can join me for Zoom office hours. The only time our schedules will be different was the midterm exam. That week we will not have a discussion or collaborative exercise or quiz, just the midterm exam, and the same thing with the final exam. Well, I'm sure you'll have questions, but basically you've got the book, you've got the readings, you've got the book, you've got the videos here, and again, that's a typo. Week 1 quiz. So it's pretty simple format, But I think that's good during these turbulent times. Keep things simple. That makes it easy to be flexible and accommodating. Let's just enjoy our book, Principles of Geoarchaeology. All right, folks. Let's hang in there, and I hope you enjoy the class. And my best wishes to all of you, and hope to be hearing from you soon, and look forward to working with you this quarter. Thank you.